Art with Mr. Posey. Cartoon self-portraits. Welcome back, Cole Colts. Mr. Posey here. Last week, we drew a picture of our family. We tried to think of all of the important people in our lives and in our family, the way that we would draw them that shows how they are special and unique, and also some of the things that make them special and unique. I want to keep thinking about how to draw people this week, but I want to zoom in on one person. You! This week, for your art project, I would like you to try to draw what we call a self-portrait. A self-portrait means a piece of art where the artist shows themselves in their art. These can be made in all kinds of different ways, in all kinds of different styles. This week, when we draw our self-portraits, we're going to try to think of the basic shapes that make up our face, trying to make things look kind of realistic, but they are also going to look kind of like a cartoon, adding all of the details that make us special and unique, like my earrings, the kind of shirts I like to wear, or my hairstyle. Here's how you can make a self-portrait of yourself. For this demonstration, I'm going to go slow so you can follow along. If the video is going too fast, pause the video, finish that step, and then unpause it to move on. For a self-portrait, I can make most everything with some basic shapes. For example, my head shape is a long, round oval like an egg. Sometimes we want to draw the head as a circle, but it's really more tall than it is wide. On the side of the head, I'll put some small shapes for the ears. Our ears sit flat against our head, so from the front they're pretty skinny. I can add some lines in the center for the inner part of the ears. And now they look pretty realistic. Our eyes are in the middle of our head, right here along the center. Sometimes we want to put them near the top, and that's not quite right. Each eye is a lemon or football shape. Inside that lemon shape, we have a circle, which is the colored part of the eye, called the iris. And then inside that circle, there's an even smaller circle, the black dot, called the pupil. If we put a small line above the eye, the eyelid fold, it looks a little more realistic too. Next, I need to do some shapes for my eyebrows. I make them shapes so that I can color them later. Don't make them go down in the middle or you'll look angry. For a mouth, I could do it a few different ways. A little line just like this would work just fine. I can add a second line and some vertical lines in the middle for teeth if I want a smile that shows my teeth. I can add a bottom lip underneath, and my top lip has a little dip in the center. For a nose, there's some different ways to do it. Very simple, little bloop. A nose kind of from the side. This is a halfway realistic nose with the shapes on the sides. An upturned nose where I can see the nostrils. Or if you want a challenge, a very realistic nose looks like this. For my self-portrait, I think I'm going to do the kind of realistic, kind of cartoony nose. So I have my little bloop in the center, and then shapes on each side to show where the nostrils are. For hair, all of our hairstyles are very different. Here's just a few things you could do. For very short hair, it sits right on top of the oval like that. If you have bangs over your face, if you have long hair, it'll come down the sides and disappear behind your shoulders. If you have very curly hair, it might be represented by a bumpy line. Parted hair might look like this. And if you have kind of medium long hair, it would disappear behind your head in a little zigzaggy line. Think about what your hair looks like. You might want to look in a mirror to check, but just do the best you can do. My hair is very short right now, so I will represent my hairstyle with a little zigzag line right above the top of my oval, just like this. Now my face is pretty much done. Oops, there's my mustache. For my neck, I'm going to need 2 lines. We don't have a spaghetti noodle for a neck, or our head would fall over. I connect those lines together for the top of my shirt, and then my shoulders go out and curve down off the page, out and curve down off the page. That's most of the main pieces. Now it's time for some personal details. My earrings, some details on the shirt, even a picture on the front of the shirt. I'm going to make my shirt into a Keith Haring shirt. Now that I have my self-portrait drawn in pencil, I'm going to trace with Sharpie. Now, you don't have to trace over your lines with marker when you're done, but I just like how it looks. It makes my picture look a little more bold, and it lets me see the shapes more clearly. Also, when I color later, it helps my colors stay in their own shape because they have that little black line at the edge. After all of my lines are traced, I like to take an eraser and erase any pencil I can still see. I also want to hold my paper down as I do this so it doesn't crinkle my paper. And then all I have left is my marker line. I went out and I got a couple of new packs of Crayola markers for this project. I'm going to start by filling in some shapes on my shirt with my nice shiny new Crayolas. I'll choose light purple, one of my favorite colors. And as I color, I'm going to use the side of the tip of the marker because it's a little thicker and it goes a little faster. When I color a shape, I like to go around the edges first and then fill in the center. I color in long rows. It sometimes looks a little better than coloring in a more random or scribbly way. I'm carefully filling in each shape nice and solid, trying to make sure I don't miss any white space. Now for my hair, I only have this brown, but it seems like it's too dark for my hair color. I can test it to see, and yeah, it looks a little too dark for me. Well, maybe I could try a colored pencil for my hair. That looks a little closer to my actual hair color, so I'll use that. You can switch the kind of coloring tool you're using in the middle if you want to. I'll fill in my hair, my eyebrows, and my moustache. And I want to make them a little more blonde so I can even mix some yellow in on my paper. One of the great things about colored pencils is you can overlap them to mix. For my skin, I found a peach colored pencil, and for my eyes, I found a blue with a little green. I'm going to lightly color in my skin with this peach color. We all have different shades of skin, so just look through your coloring tools and try to find the tone that fits your skin color the best. For my background, I'll use a little watercolor paint in this one. I'm being more expressive, letting the colors blend together, but also going carefully along the edge of my portrait so I don't accidentally paint over what I drew. If you don't have watercolor paint, that's okay.
I just think it creates a nice background.
Hi, I'm Cartoon Mr. Posey. Nice to meet ya.
And that is how I did my self-portrait in sort of a realistic cartoon style. All of our self-portraits will look different. We have different hairstyles, different skin colors, different styles, shirts, jewelry. So make sure you include everything that makes you special and unique. Take your time, color everything really nicely, and I am excited to see some of your self-portraits. Have a great shorter week, Colts. I'll see you soon. Go Colts!